Hey, welcome everybody to the Father, Son, and Holy Sport weekly NFL show. It's G-Man T-Money coming to you live in NFL Week 3, bringing you our entertaining father-son take on what you need to know about the upcoming NFL Week. T-Money, Thursday night, it all gets started, man. Another big game in the AFC East. The Patriots and the Jets, both teams 1-1. Can that New England defense hold back Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Big primetime game for Aaron Rodgers here. You know, he's saying they're back and they got more juice in the offense. So let's see it versus a vaunted Patriots defense. It's looked pretty damn good the past few weeks. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, I'll get a little tidbit here for you, a little preview from our best bets. We got our bets coming to you now, guys, everybody. So stay tuned for the bets, but I'll give you a little preview. You know, T-Money NFL underdogs of 6 or more points are now 8-0 against the spread through 2 weeks. 6 or more points. The best start for big dogs in history. How about that? And the Patriots are 6.5 at the Jets Thursday night, man. Maybe the Patriots pull this off and keep the trend going.
Yeah, they could, man. I think it'll be close. Those AFC East, Northeast battles are always close.
And then how about the other one is your Monday night football game there, you in Cincinnati town. Their Commanders getting 7.5. So the Commanders getting 7.5. Maybe they keep the trend going against your Bengals, man.
Yeah, that's probably where it breaks.
Yeah, right. And how about this guy behind you, man? Derek Carr's really doing it. The Saints have been a non-playoff team for the past 3 years, but they don't look like it this year. They rout Carolina 47-10, dismantle the Cowboys 44-19. Cowboys hadn't lost a regular season game at home in 2 years. Are the Saints the best team in the NFL, T-Money?
Man, they sure look like it. Holy crap. Putting up over 40 multiple weeks in a row. Look, I love them, and they might be better than we all expected. They clearly are on a roll. Anyone can do that to Carolina, but very impressive to do this at the Cowboys. That's one thing that's, Cowboys win at home in the regular season. That's how that goes. And so very impressed. Best team in the NFL. I don't think anyone could take that away from Kansas City, right? They are just going to be ranked number 1 until someone says otherwise. But look, they clearly have caught us all a little bit by surprise.
Yeah.
I thought Dennis Allen didn't know how to coach.
Yes, I was going to ask if you were going to apologize to Dennis.
He clearly has this defense humming, right? And that's, his side of the ball is defense. Their OC is going to obviously be a head coach after this year, clearly. And Kabara, everyone kind of thinks is old. Nope, he's got more juice left. Carr, everyone kind of thought was washed. No, he's kind of still Kirk Cousins vibes, still keeping rolling. He put some good pieces around him. Like I said, defense looks good. O-line looks good. Chris Olave not getting crazy targets, but still elite. So this team is more complete than people are giving it credit for. All of a sudden, that NFC South looking like a vaunted division with the Falcons and Bucks too. So yeah, really impressed with the Saints.
Yeah, I am too. Not just Carr in the passing game with Raheem Shaheed, but also that running game. Your fantasy guy, Alvin Kamara, is just killing it in fantasy team. Yeah. 290 yards and 5 touchdowns from scrimmage through 2 games, man. The guy looks great. And they are doing it on the passing game and the running game. I told you all last week. I said, come on, Derek Carr, bring it this week versus the Cowboys. And Derek Carr did it. The Saints did it. You know, the Saints have scored 91 points through 2 games. That's the 4th highest total in NFL history through 2 weeks. They're only the 3rd team in NFL history, T-Money. We're talking NFL history here, T-Money, to score 44 points in 3 straight games because they won their 2023 finale by over 40. The 3rd team in NFL history, my man. And we're going to see if they got it because they're at home. Eagles coming into town, man. It's going to be a war on Sunday at 1 with the Saints and Eagles. Hey, let's go. Let's go and talk about another high-flying offense, at least historically, the Lions. So the Lions have faced 2 teams at home that they beat in the last year's playoffs. 2 big games. They're 1-1 out of that. They lost to the Bucks and Baker, and they barely beat the Rams in overtime. Well, this week they go and they play Arizona, who just beat the Rams 41-10. Are you worried about Detroit, T-Money?
Yeah, because that was an odd game. And this team is supposed to be past games like this. They had the most first downs, almost by double. They beat the Bucks in total yards. I mean, the Bucks only had 216 total yards. All right. They have more rushing yards, 139-70. I mean, it's just everything that they did that they won at. And somehow Derek Carr throws 55 passes. Like, I don't even know how that happens. Jared Goff, I'm sorry, should not be throwing 55 passes. This should be a run-first offense, play action. You got two elite running backs. Look, I'm worried about Detroit because this is supposed to be a game that you win, all right? In a dome, at home, versus an okay team. Now, look, the Bucks are better than we all thought, but we thought the Lions could be the number one seed in the NFC this year. We have bigger expectations of these guys. And so, yeah, I am worried about them.
You're worried. You're worried.
To lose a game that you completely dominate shows a coaching error, a clutch error. These are things that are going to come down and bite you in the butt at the end of the season. They clearly have the talent everywhere. But this is a worrisome game, just the way they lost and how they go about at the end of the game. Getting pressure to Jared Goff, he becomes pedestrian under pressure, and so it showed a lot of blemishes with Detroit that we kind of remember. Like, oh yeah, this is the Detroit Lions. We're not talking about the Rams here. We're not talking about the Niners here, the NFC teams that have been there for a while. The Lions just got here, and everyone's putting their faith in them. But like losing a game like that where you completely dominate, that's worrisome to me. That's worrisome.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you too, and I'm with you. Hey, 463 yards of offense, gets 16 points, and you know why? 1 of 7 in the red zone, T-Money. They're getting down there, and they're not putting it in the end zone.
Yeah. Well, they got Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down every freaking time.
That's true, and they're not committed to the run. Like you said, in the first half against the Bucks, 20 pass attempts in that first half, only 7 rushes, and they only got 6 points. So they're not converting. They're not running the ball. The one thing they do have, though, is defense. Their defense is yet to allow more than 20 points in a game. Aiden Hutchinson's killing it. He's leading the league in pressures. He's got 4.5 sacks in week 2 against Tampa. Shredded through Tampa's offense. Aiden Hutchinson's a beast, man. I'm not worried about them. I think they're going to bring it. I like Arizona, though, getting these points at home, though, T-Money. Arizona's getting points at home. Come on, T-Money. Something sounds funny there. That's Sunday at 4. That's going to be a big matchup.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to talk about another surprising quarterback, Sam Darnold in Minnesota. They moved to 2-0 with a big win over the 49ers. How impressed are you with this team and Sam Darnold?
Yeah, man. Sam Darnold bringing it. Look, we just talked about the Bucks a little bit. Now we're talking about Sam Darnold. These ex-Carolina Panther quarterbacks, once they get away from the organization, look pretty damn good. Maybe Bryce Young isn't the problem here, but man, Sam Darnold has really come to play this year. They put a lot of faith in him. Bringing him over from the Niners, giving him a chance to start potentially, and it's paid off for them. Versus the Giants, he didn't really need to do much. He completed 80% of his passes. 200 yards, that's fine. And not only that, he has a little bit of rushing ability. Versus the San Francisco 49ers, he ran 5 times for 32 yards. Just to be a little dangerous is great. So this guy is looking really impressive right now, completing 72% of his passes, has averaging 2 touchdowns a game, and really, really solid, has command of this offense. When you're watching him, he looks fluid. He has a cannon of an arm. He threw a 98-yard, 97-yard touchdown to Justin Jefferson. So this team is impressive. Give them credit. Kevin O'Connell, this coaching staff, putting together this team. We kind of thought they were in a rebuilding year. We didn't really trust the defense. The run game is just an older Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler. And look, they look great. And Sam Darnold looks very capable. He kind of reminds me of who he just played, Brock Purdy. Put him in the right system, with some decent weapons, and Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones, and all of a sudden he looks like a pretty competent quarterback.
Nice to see you coming around to our Brock Purdy fan side. Brock Purdy leading the NFL in yards passing. How about that? What the heck? But yeah, I like Darnold doing a great job. He produced a game-clinching drive without Justin Jefferson, without Jordan Addison, without DJ Hawkinson, went down and won the game. And this Sunday at 1, they got the Texans. Minnesota getting points at home. I like the Vikings getting those points at home, man. And look at this NFC. Looking at the NFC, there's only 4 teams left. 2-0 in the NFC. Vikings, one of them. And one of the other ones is Seattle Seahawks leading that West. But right behind them are the Cardinals and Kyler. They're 1-1. Arizona just beat the Rams 41-10. Murray finished with a perfect passer rating, T-Money. 81% of his passes completed. Can Kyler Murray win the NFL MVP, do you think?
Yeah, the guy can. We have seen in the past this guy be an all-pro. All right, he's been a Pro Bowler. He's been really, really solid. They in the past have made the playoffs, and Kyler Murray may be one of the more fun, watchable quarterbacks in the NFL just because of his scrambling ability.
Yeah.
And if this guy can stay healthy, he clearly is going to be able to put up a lot of numbers. And with the expectations that this team had, to win 7, maybe 8 games this year, if they go win 11 or 12 games, which, is what, if they had won that Bills game that they had a massive lead in, we'd be having a very different conversation. I feel like we'd already be getting there. But they kind of blew that game, and now he's kind of gone back in, to behind the fog of everyone. But this guy's dynamic enough, can put up the stats, has the rushing ability and the new surprise factor punch that you want sometimes with an MVP. So this guy can definitely win it. I've been impressed with the Cardinals everywhere. James Conner's playing well. McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. finally showed up. This offense is coming. God. The defense looks solid. So give them credit. The Cardinals look great. And if they are a solid team, if they win 11 games, if they clip 12 games off, Kyler Murray will be in the discussion. There's no doubt.
Kyler Murray, you need to get the ball to Marvin Harrison. You didn't do that in game 1, Kyler. You want to win the MVP? Get the ball to Marvin. You saw what happened second game. When you threw the ball to Marvin, good things happen, Kyler. I'm just telling you, baby. I'm just telling you. You better bring it to Marvin. Hey, T-Money, you know that Kyler Murray, in NFL history, the second quarterback in NFL history, T-Money, to have a perfect passer rating and throw for 250 and run for 50. Had them both. Second QB in history. That's pretty impressive. And speaking of guys turning it around and teams on the move, T-Money, I got a little list for you here. Throw something at you. Here, biggest movers in Super Bowl odds after 2 weeks. Who's moved the most up and down? The guys that have moved up the most in Super Bowl odds? The Saints, the Bucks, and the Steelers. Any reaction to that?
I don't know why the Steelers would move up. They've won 2 games, but
because they were picked to be last.
They look pedestrian. My God, I would never. These guys will not win a Super Bowl.
Well, they were picked to be last in that AFC North, and they're 2-0. They're in first. That's why.
I would go backwards in odds.
Oh my God.
The quarterback. I could play quarterback for that team.
All right. Well, they're 2-0 and they lead that AFC North. Keep going, Steelers. Show T-Money. Hey, how about the biggest droppers, the biggest losers? This is probably not going to surprise you. The top 3. The Rams, the Dolphins, the Bears.
Sounds about right. Those seem right.
You're agreeing with that one. Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
Good, T-Money. Hey, thanks to our show sponsor, Blue Tees Golf. Go to blueteesgolf.com. Find high quality, affordable golf products. Help you with your golf game, baby. You want some speakers for your cart? Some range finders? Got to be with the guy that likes music on his cart, like G-Man and T-Money. Then you can play those speakers. Enter the code FSHS. Get a 10% discount. And also, do us a favor, press that like and subscribe, baby. Help us continue to bring you the fun father-son content every week. We're shifting gears. We're going to big bets, everybody. Let's talk about some of the big bets of the week. T-Money and I are going to bring it to you here. And we're going to give you two big picks here, our lock of the week, and then our dog lock, which is the best underdog play. Someone who might win the game outright. I've already been giving you some teases already on my own, but let's see what T-Money has for his lock pick of the week.
All right. My lock pick of the week here is going to be the Seahawks hosting the Dolphins. Okay. The Dolphins lose Tua to a bad injury. They have to fly the furthest of any team that flies in the NFL. They have to go all the way from southern Florida on the East Coast to the Northwest. Might be bad weather. And the Seahawks have one of the best home field advantages with their crowd. The Seahawks have looked great. They're playing really, really well right now. They're 2-0. They're averaging like 24.5 points a game right now. Whereas the Dolphins, they looked shaky versus the Jags. They needed a last-second field goal to win. And versus the Bills, they only put up 10 points. And so I think the combination of having to start a backup quarterback, the injury to Tua, the long travel, the home field advantage for the Seahawks, I think this could get ugly. The Seahawks aren't barn burners in terms of crushing teams, but I just don't know where the Dolphins offense is going to come from. They're just going to give A-Chain the ball 30 times. And if I'm the Seahawks, I would just play a big defensive front and try to stop the run and make Skylar Thompson beat you. So the Seahawks look prime position here to beat the Dolphins pretty badly.
Okay, I got you now. Seattle -4.5 versus Miami. T-Money. G-Man's going to that Saints game with the Philly Sunday at 1. Philly going in to play the Saints. I like the Saints here, T-Money. They're favored at home, only 2.5. I think they can cover that. Clint Kubiak, how about him? Completely changed the Saints offense. It's the best shooting in the NFL right now. They lead the NFL in net yards per play. Not just yards per play, T-Money. Net yards per play, which means they're playing great defense too. The Eagles are giving it up all over the place on defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving up against the run. They're giving up against the pass. And this could be a nightmare for that Eagles defense. They're just not living up to expectations. There's their ATS against the spread the last 9 games. Eagles are 1-8, not living up to expectations. Meanwhile, the Saints are 6-1 the last 7 games against the spread. I think they keep it going. Give me the Saints at home. I think they cover that 2.5 for my lock pick of the week.
All right. That's a good one, G. I'm surprised they aren't favored here, so it looks like good money. Mine is another shocker here, and that is I'm taking as the dog lock the Los Angeles Chargers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know it's only 1.5. It's not a crazy dog lock. There are some others G mentioned, the Minnesota game, the Saints game here. But I think the Chargers got this one on lock. Okay. I don't know how they're not favored. They've scored over 22 points in each of their games, albeit versus the Raiders and Panthers, but both those teams might have better offenses than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers have scored 18 and 13 in both their games. Their offense is atrocious. This Chargers defense is flying around, and they're just going to run the ball down Pittsburgh's throat. I know Pittsburgh has a good defense, but I don't trust anyone on the Steelers to score 20 points here. And I think the Chargers are just going to slowly move their way down, up and down the field to 20, 23 points. And Pittsburgh's going to look up at their scoreboard and they're going to have 15. And so this could actually get away from Pittsburgh sooner than later. The Chargers looking great. J.K. Dobbins looking elite. This will be a tough test for the Steelers here. And so I like the Chargers as underdogs.
And I mentioned the NFC undefeated. There's 5 AFC 2-0 teams, and this is 2 of them right here that you're talking about. The Chargers and the Steelers going at it. Early big showdown. All right, T-Money, good pick, good pick. I'm going to my dog lock. Pick of the week, looking for a team. It's getting points that we think can win. I'm going to that Cardinals game. I think the Lions are okay. I'm not worried about the Lions, but I'm worried about them this week going into Arizona. Arizona's hot. Did you know that Cards rank number 2 in the NFL in scoring? Nobody's even talking about that. And they're balanced, T-Money. They got Murray and Connor running the ball, and they've got Harrison in the air. They got a great combination on offense, and we just mentioned Kyler Murray's lighting it up. Plus, the Cards are 5-3 against the spread as a home underdog last year, and this year they're 2-0 against the spread. So give me the Cards with the points. I'm buying this thing up from 2.5 to 3. Go get it right now. +3. Go buy it up for my dog luck pick of the week.
All right. They're hot right now. Let's see if the Cardinals can build some wins. And let's move on to everyone's favorite betting segment. That's G-Man's player prop of the week. What you got for us, G-Man?
Hey, stayed hot 3 of 4 last week. So let's see if we can keep it going again. Sorry, it was 3 of 5. 3 of 5 last week. It was positive. I've got a couple more for you today. I got 4 for you here today, T-Money. Starting with the quarterback. I like this guy behind me, Derek Carr. Over 1.5 touchdowns, T-Money. He's done it 7 games in a row. It's not just this year. 7 in a row, over 1.5 touchdowns. Derek Carr. All right, let's go to the running back position. I like Connor for Arizona. I mentioned that game. Anytime touchdown. He scored a touchdown in 7 straight games. I like Connor to score another one here in this, what should be a high-scoring game. And my other really secret top pick right here for the running backs, how about Allen? Braylon Allen for the Jets, over 15 rush yards. Brees Hall had 20 catches in the first game. Allen got 10 carries last game. 10 carries? You can't get 15 yards? Short week. They're going to be giving Brees Hall some rest here, T-Money. I think this could develop into a 2-person backfield here, where maybe Brees has 70%, Allen has 30%. He gets 10 touches. He's over 15 yards. Easy. Yeah. So there's your other little sneaky one there. And from wide receiver, I like Rashid Shaheed, over 47 receiving yards, T-Money. He's done it 4 out of the last 5 games, over 47 receiving yards. There's 4 good ones for you on the player props, baby.
All right. Love it.
Okay. Hey, we love that. Let's go to fantasy. Let's talk some fantasy, baby. T-Money, we got injuries all over the place in the fantasy leagues. Everybody's scrambling. We're going to try to help you. We know there's a lot going on. Some of these starters that you thought were going to win for you, now we're looking at backups. Everybody's trying to get their backup. And I'll tell you what, T-Money, we're going to give you some hot and colds here. And one of my hots is one of the backups. One of my hots last week, I gave you last week, Jordan Mason, and he got 17 fantasy points. So there's a guy that's just that example where the backup went in and did it. And am I running back hot for this week? I'm going to Zach Charbonnet, another backup. Make sure Walker's not playing. I don't think he is, but check that out. It's Wednesday. We're recording. I like Charbonnet. He racked up 18 fantasy points last week. I think he can do it again here. Kenneth Walker out with that oblique muscle. Not ready to, and they're going up against the Dolphins. T-Money talked to you about the Dolphins, that he thinks that Seattle's going to win this. And if they do, Charbonnet is going to play a big role. And he's only $6,000 on DraftKings. So great DFS value. Zach Charbonnet, my upside running back on pick of the week.
All right. My cold pick, my cold pick of the week, it's a shaky one. I'm not sure, but I think Zamir White is slowly losing this backfield. All right. He's projected for 13.1, but he's playing Carolina. That's what scares me. There might be a lot of touchdowns, but the Raiders aren't that great either. So this could be an ugly game, low scoring.
Yeah.
They played well versus the Ravens, but they got throttled by the Chargers. So who knows with the Raiders, who's coming to play. And Andy Dalton's coming. So maybe that revitalizes their defense a little bit. But White doesn't seem like the primary back right now. He's only had 6.8 and 4.6 points the past 2 weeks. Even with a touchdown, that still doesn't touch 13.4. So I'm not certain that this guy is the main focus of the offense. I think that, Gardner Minshew is looking good enough to make the passing game more relevant than we thought. And right now, Madison's got a large chunk of this backfield. And so with Carolina maybe getting revitalized with Andy Dalton in there, I think Zamir White's my cold running back of the week.
Zamir White, he's had chances last year and this year to lock it down, and he just can't seem to do it, T-Money. All right, good cold pick for T-Money. Let's go to wide receivers, hot and cold. For the hot wide receiver, I'm going Detroit's Jameson Williams. 11 targets, T-Money. He catches 5. 79 yards. So 2 big receiving weeks in a row for Jameson Williams, and 7 targets at least in both games. He'll be stretching that field against the Cardinals. They're going to have to put up some points to stay with Kyler. We talked about that, and his price is low, $5,800. I think that's great value.
Great
when you consider he was the 8th highest wide receiver after 2 weeks. He's WR 8. So Jameson Williams, my upside wide receiver hot pick of the week.
I like it. Might be a change in the guard in Detroit. Let's go to my cold wide receiver, and that's Terry McLaurin. I love Scary Terry. This guy, is great. But Jaden McDaniels, not sure if he knows how to get his receivers the ball yet. He's playing as a rookie. Terry McLaurin's projected for 11.6 for Cincinnati. And until further notice, Terry McLaurin is on our bench. We can't trust this guy because Jaden McDaniels can't pass the ball. All right. He's only at 3.7 and 8.2 points per game right now, the past 2 games. He's only averaging 6 targets a game. That's not a lot for a guy we consider a wide receiver 1 on a team. So that's concerning as well. You'd think they'd get him up to 8 or 9, maybe 10 targets a game. No, 6 a game in balls are uncatchable. I'm not sure if I trust that. And now they're prime time Monday night versus good teams. So that's a lot of pressure. So until further notice, Terry McLaurin is on my bench until he can prove a few weeks in a row that he can get the target share we want.
Until further notice, doggone it, you are grounded to your room. All right, T-Money grounds Terry McLaurin. He's grounded, baby. Hey, let's go to Take or Mistake. Our next game, Take or Mistake. I give a T-Money a player that he doesn't know who I'm giving him. Someone who had a big week last week, and T-Money tells us whether we should take the bait or would that be a mistake. And T-Money, this is not going to surprise you. I'm going to Quentin Johnson for the Chargers. The big Q. Q crushed expectations in week 2, led the Bolts in receiving, drew a 30% target share. Can you believe we're saying this? The team leading 69% route share. He scored twice. This is crazy. We got Josh Palmer and Ladd McConkey trying to get up there and get some plays, but Q looks like he's the player for this team in the receiving core. Can fantasy managers trust the Q that he'll get the looks against Pittsburgh, which should be one of the closer games in week 3? T-Money, you starting Q Johnson in fantasy on Sunday? Is he a take, or would that be a mistake?
No, that's a mistake. Absolutely not. Do I want to start Quentin Johnson on any of my teams? Look, the guy had one game. The guy had one game where he caught 2 touchdowns. All right. Like, I don't do 2 touchdown games for average people. That's just that was Alan Lazard last weekend. And where the hell is Alan Lazard this week? No, he's nowhere to be found. Okay. We don't trust bad players on, and I'd rather have Ladd McConkey any day of the week. The Steelers defense is very good this week, so I wouldn't trust anybody named Quentin Johnson, let alone season long. This guy, he needs to prove to me that he can do it over like 6 weeks straight. And yes, he might have led
6 weeks.
I will not start the bar. I'm not sure if he knows how to play football yet, and so let's pump the brakes too, right? Okay, he had 6 targets. Okay, let's not act like this guy's a world beater. I just complained about Terry McLaurin only getting 6 targets a game. Okay, So I'm not a starting 6 target a game people. That's not where I'm at. So
I'm glad I got you fired up on a Wednesday, T Money. I like when you get like that. Hey, let's finish this up with my DFS lineup, daily fantasy sports lineup here for you for your daily game. Those of you playing daily, it's a lot of fun. Hey, here's my team. Hey, at quarterback, got this guy behind me, Derek Carr, teamed up with Raheed Shaheed, both under $6,000 each on DraftKings. That's a pretty good deal. I'm going James Conner. I like him this week. And Zach Charbonnet as my 2 running backs. In the receivers, I mentioned Shaheed. I mentioned Jameson Williams earlier, and I stuck in Brandon Ayuk, who should light it up this week with all those injuries in San Francisco. And I'm going with Mark Andrews here at tight end. Good value, $4,800 in that Dallas game. I think Andrews comes through in these big games. I'm going with my flex. Got a big flex here, James Cook. Lighting it up for Buffalo. He is the man right now. And I'm going with that Bears defense against a crazy throw in Anthony Richardson. He's going to turn the ball over. Bears are going to get some turnovers. Only $2,600 for the Bears defense. Hey, there's our DFS, T-Money.
I like it, G-Man.
Okay, well, let's get ready for week 3, T-Money. You enjoy Monday Night Football in Cincinnati, T-Money. But before we get to that, Thursday night, it's the Bills. It's the Jets, on Thursday Night Football against New England. So let's look for that game. That's it for today's show. Father Son Sports bringing you the NFL energy. We hope you have fun hanging out with us. On behalf of T-Money, I'm G-Man. Hey, see you next week.
All right, peace.